I'm shaking it, it's like Congo, man. I'm shaking the city like Quavo. I made it so way to say it's like Congo. I'm shaking the city like Quavo. All right, good morning, good morning. It is 6:32. I'm 2 minutes late. I've been having a hard time getting on time at 6:30. I'm going to try better. It is July 17th. It is Monday. It's a new week. It's going to be a busy one. We're going to get into some of the hard earnings season, and then it's going to continue into next week. Let me get the chart of the spies up. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of TSLA.com. Welcome to the 6:30 Club, where we talk about what's happening, what the narrative is, where's the focus, how do we make money for the day, maybe for the week, how do we accumulate wealth over life, and how do we enjoy ourselves and work on our process so we can become the best versions of ourselves. Thanks, Ken. My mom is good. I went to visit her this weekend. You know, it's good to, visit family, especially when you have to, I don't even want to talk about that right now, but thanks for asking. Let me say hello to some of my crew around the world. We got Nebraska in the house. We got It's Rising and Grinding as always. We got Texas. We got Connecticut in the house. Good to see, good to see. Monday. We did have a little reversal on Friday where we pushed above a few levels and came back below, had me reduce a little risk, which I like to do anyway into earnings season because it can get a little erratic and volatile, especially when the market's a little overbought. What up, Del Rey? By the way, this was supposed to be Waffle House by the Jonas Brothers, but Alexa wasn't paying attention. Croatia, what up? That's gorgeous out there. I have some friends that are in Croatia for the summer. I'm going to Spain the last 2 weeks of August. We're going to Marbella, and we're also visiting some friends and some people from the Alpha team in the community. All right, let's see if we can do it one more time. Alexa, play Waffle House, Jonas Brothers.
Waffle House by Jonas Brothers.
Here we go. Isn't this a nice little good feel-good song? All right. We'll lower it a little bit. All right, so here we are in the spies. Let me put this down here so we can see what's going on with the Alpha team also. So it's been an unbelievable run. Every month the media, the analysts will talk about how we should be going into a recession and how this is a bear market bounce and it's a broken market bounce. But P.S., there's been lots of ways to approach it if you're actionable and if you put flows in for the long term. If you look here at the chart of the spies, you'll see this was really when I think the bull market ignited in March, right? That was the wedge formation that we were building, and then we gapped above, and from here on out, we went all the way to 451. And along the way, you had a points, yes, high beta tech and mega cap tech was leading the way, which is good. I love it when Apple leads. I love it when Tesla is on fire. I love it when Amazon and Google give you good setups with an NVIDIA and an AMD. And then in June, this part of the rally, this is actually right around here, that was when the market broadened out. That's when you could have made some money in the small caps, the XLE, some of the financials. So there was something for everyone. Only if you look for the things. If you look for setups and you look for ways to stay with this like a swing long by using a tier system versus just trying to figure out how to be the smartest guy in the room, which traders usually aren't. They say that doctors and lawyers are the worst traders. You know why? Nothing against them. You guys make good money and you help the greater good sometimes. Is because you think you have to be right, because you have to be right in the courtroom, and you better be right when you're doing surgery. But in the stock market, you don't have to be right. You just have to listen to the action. So anyway, take a closer look here at the spies, and it did hit a high of 451. And if you remember last week, I told you we're getting a little extended from the 8-day, so I started to sell a little bit of premium as a hedge because I wanted to keep some of my longs. And as of right now, let's see something here. Spies are down, not a whole lot, down 73 cents, 448.55, which is a little bit below, Friday's low. And then right here is Thursday's low. So you want to put a little line here. So it'll be interesting to see, do we hold 447.45 and reclaim 489 to let the 8-day catch up? Or do they want to shake the tree a little bit down to the 8-day, which would be a level that you would think, should hold if we're going to keep upper momentum, because this is kind of what we broke this last breakout from. If you remember, back here, we came back and retested this area. Remember, we were like, we got to come back and retest the old August high, which is what we did. So if you take a look here, that's what happens sometimes. Here is the August 16, 2022 high. We broke above it, and then we came back and retested it pretty perfectly there, and then we made another move. So I would think if this market's going to continue, if this market's not going to, shake and bake, and all of a sudden now that everyone's bullish, because now everyone's turning bullish, that means they usually change something. But you would think that this has to hold, or this should hold, this 445-ish area. But today's, just for today, do we hold 447.45 and reclaim that to keep, the momentum here? If you want to take a quick look at the Qs before we move on, you did have a bit of a topping tail. So, we stretched as high as what? 382.86. So 382.86 is right here. 382.86. 382.86 is your new point of reference. A lot of people are like, Red Dog, you always tell us to look at our candlesticks and our chart patterns over the weekend. Isn't this a topping tail? Does this mean this is a summer top? It doesn't mean it's a summer top, but it definitely meant, we were stretched from the 8th day. It was better to reduce into some resistance or reduce into strength and then figure it out. At this point, we'll see where this low here is what, 378.18. So you go here, 378.18 is Friday's low. So if we're going to have downside continuation to test the gap here, which is about 375.46, which is right here, it's got to get below and stay below 378.18 first. If you look here at the Qs right now are down 19 cents, not a whole lot. So we'll see what happens here. I know I was headed to Florida to visit my family. I had a bunch of longs on. I did get stopped out of a few things. I have a lot of options on also, which I wanted to give things more room. But selling premium helped. So for this week and today, obviously you have a lot of earnings coming out this week. Netflix and Tesla will be big. So I was talking to you guys, maybe saying, hey, maybe that Tesla has a pre-earnings run. So I wanted to make sure I put on some options prior to Wednesday and also in some stock. So if you take a look at Tesla, all right, first of all, this is when Tesla turned into a great active long. Tesla for me was probably my biggest or best profitable trade or sequence since I would say right around here. Remember this candlestick? May 17th is when Tesla started to act really, really well. It took back this negative candle and the active sequence was awesome. If you could take a look at Tesla right here. So right around here is when Tesla finally became an active long once again. Yes, this was a great active sequence too to start the year, but not a lot of people were expecting it. That was a short squeeze. That was, mispositioning. Yeah, right here you had your Red Dog reversal. Remember that? That was awesome. That also was a spot to switch gears. You always want to switch gears. So anyway, that was your low. You didn't have to put it on here to make a lot of money. You could have waited for a higher low that held the gap, or you could have, made right here. And then remember that Red Dog reversal into the 200-day that ended this active sequence? Well, this is what put it back intact right around here. Okay, this was your 169.76. So that's when Elon, my friend Elon here, Elon. Anyway, I'm trying to get on the undercard. I want to fight David Portnoy while Elon fights Zuck because a lot of people, why don't you like Portnoy? I'm like, because he was irresponsible. He said stocks don't go down all the way into 2021, lured in every kid that was probably 18 to 25 who were home for the pandemic. And then he quit, left them all stranded, and a lot of them got stopped out. And I just thought that wasn't nice. Anyway, let's go back to Tesla here. So I did get long the stock again once it held, the 8-day moving average, for a pre-earnings trade. And I also, into this area, put on some options for post-earnings. By the way, I don't take stock into earnings. As a trader, an active trader, yeah, if you're an investor, you've been in Tesla for years, that's fine. But as an active trader, you don't do it because if you're wrong, you could ruin your month or quarter. So I take options. So in my head, I'm thinking that if Tesla is going to deliver like they did on the deliverables, chances are Tesla could be, 309 to 315. That's your next resistance spot. So this is your void. If Tesla margins are okay, and if he sounds actively bullish, I want to be in a spread. So if you look at the alpha team, which I don't have a whole lot coming into today, I'm long some Tesla, which I will make sure I trim a little bit into this gap up. Right now, Tesla is up 5, so it's nice. You can sell a little bit, make some money, and I'll see if I want to hold some if it holds 285. And then the Tesla options I have, which are right here, the 295s that I have from 275, I might sell the 305s or the 310s and let this move in Tesla help fund the options trade for earnings. And then if we go up even more into Wednesday, maybe I'll take a little higher call spread with a little less risk to put on more exposure, but we'll see. But for today, we'll trim and trail, and we'll see, does Tesla hold above this 284 and a quarter, which is your pivot area, to continue its pre-earnings run. Okay, and that is Tesla. Tesla pays traders if you actively approach it with a plan, which is what I try and do every day. All right, moving on. As far as Netflix is concerned, Netflix has been a great stock. You know, Netflix gave you a little reversal on Friday if you were in it. So if you're in the stock, you had to get out of the way. Earnings are, I think, around Wednesday, if I'm correct. Let's see, it says right here, July 17th is earnings, right? No, July 19th. July 19th is in 2 days. It's had a big move. Listen, this was a great leading indicator, if you remember, for most of this year. It's, you know, it started making higher highs and higher lows here in January. Remember, I had the gap up after earnings right here. First peak, we rebuilt, then it did it again. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday. I'm not gonna. I have no FOMO in missing a move in Netflix. This is not an easy trader. You have to be very, you have to give it a lot of room, and sometimes it trades by appointment, meaning it's hard to use relative strength and weakness because it's very thin. But anyway, it put a little short-term top in, so we'll see how it goes. You know, that'll be important. I think Tesla's more important than Netflix on Wednesday, but anyway, we'll see. And some of you guys like, hey, Red Dog, you know, I've been tuning into your 630 Club, and every time you show the Alpha Team, I've been watching, you know, I've got these $20 calls for BBIO for July 21st, which is what, this week, and August, because my bio guy was saying there should be a big read-through coming in, and then all of a sudden, you know, here, he's actually talking about it. After the close, there was some news that they're going to host a big conference or whatever. So I don't, you know, listen, I've been in this business for so long that I'm not counting my money. If it's up $10 today, awesome. You know, it was good to be in options for a buyer. Risk is premium paid. Technically, it was moving really well. There is a really big gap to fill over here. If you take a look, you know, that goes up to like 38. I guess they must have missed some things here. So if all of a sudden they have a better readout and it can get above and stay above this $20, we'll see. I'm not in this for 20 or 22. You know, for bios, you need like a home run. So hopefully it's really good news and it goes. Again, it'd be a nice way to start a Monday, considering it's been a position I've accumulated for the past few weeks. And it'd be nice that somebody else's knowledge, which is what we share in the Alpha Team, makes me some money because I am not a bio specialist. And that's why I put in some options. And we'll see what happens here. Does it stay above 20 and go or not? I think at 8 o'clock they're hosting a big meeting. Right? And in conclusion, you know, people have have done very well with just say the small caps recently, which has been, you know, a really good setup. It just filled this gap here a little bit on Friday, got a little loose and wide, but it was extended from the 8 days. So this gap is now gone. So usually when it fills the gap, I go, bye-bye gap. So now at this particular point, you know, if you're still in the small caps, you have a new point of reference from Friday, which is 190.29. So you might as well write that in. Let's move this over here. I always like to be pretty perfect on my, my price points. So you put this like this. This is now more important. It's still above the 8 day. It did shake the tree a little bit below here, but anyway, I think most people reduced anyway into that. Some were even trying to catch a little bit of a short because it got so extended. So I would think, you know, if this is going to be any good, it should hold this area and rebuild. And if you look at the weekly chart's telling you that the small caps probably still have a move towards 196 to 199 after breaking above 189. It should not get below this 189 in my humble opinion if it's going to be easier to stay with. So with that said, lots of different things happening. You know, next week is Apple, Amazon, and Google, which is very important. This week, Tesla and Netflix on Wednesday. Last week, you know, we had the CPI, which was very important. But there'll be a lot of, you know, inflationary news coming out this week from Europe and elsewhere, but not really here this week. And then we'll start looking towards the Fed meeting, which they're probably going to raise a quarter, and hopefully that'll be it, and there'll be a little data dependent going into the fall, but we'll see. But for this week, we need to actively approach the market. During earnings season, know what you own. Okay, take options into the print and then have levels after if you're going to trade it after market. Because there are people that do trade the market after the earnings print, which I do sometimes if it's a good setup, and just know what you can handle and continue to move forward. It's summertime, hopefully having some fun. You're spending time with some family and friends and doing a little fitness so you're not fat daddy at the pool. Anyway, anything else? This someone like, AMD was really hard on Friday. I get it. Whenever you get a stock that pushes above a level like this, which it did, okay, hit a high of 122. I know I made some good money early on in this on Friday, and then thank goodness I had to leave to go to the airport. I put a stop in because there were some people who started buying a dip the whole way down, saying, "Oh, it was so strong in the first hour." Sometimes stocks change character intraday, so if we have a big range like that, it could hurt. So anyway, with that being said, this is a pretty big ugly topping tail, so this is going to need some time to prove that it could rebuild again. Okay, stocks sometimes when they put in a nasty tail, they either rebuild or it means something. Remember this double top here where you had 130.79, then it pushed above and really failed. That was your red dog reversal, double top, and then a lower high, and then it worked all the way down to here. So AMD is a little wishy-washy in my humble opinion. We'll see what that means. And the video also had a pretty big reversal. Not a crazy reversal, but it did give you a really nice trade. I know I went long NVIDIA in this 432 area, went above the prior all-time high and gave you a nice trade. And although I got out a little early into this area, it's better than chasing. And now we'll see what happens here as it's still above the 8-day. Even though this is a pretty ugly bearish candle, that just means it got a little extended, and entries and exits do matter, especially if you trade actively for a living. Listen, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. I have a lot of work to do. There are some T3 Live staffs that might not be in today, so I want to make sure I get everything out to the Alpha team, to Redler All Access, and make sure everything is precise and timely, because that's what we try and do here. And we set up the day, the week, and we continue to have some fun. Not as much on a Monday, maybe a little bit more on a Thursday. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in.